Hey everyone. Wow, this is disheartening. People being displaced. But I've got some news for you that really makes this worse. I hate to say this, but are you aware that when you have an eviction on your record, there is a high probability that no one else will take you? A high probability that nobody else will take you. You can be on your feet, have a decent paying job, explain that. They don't want to hear it. Nobody will take you. So the sad thing is that some of these people getting evicted, they may end up in perpetual homelessness. There's no one will rent to them. So if no one's going to rent to you, what's going to happen? More homeless people on the street. That lady was behind $11,000. And you heard how many people, Atlanta.
12,000 tenants in Atlanta who are behind on rent.
12,000?
An estimated 12,000 tenants in Atlanta who are behind on rent have gotten eviction letters.
A housing official asked Atlanta City Council members to find a way to help. Fox News' More Stiggs explains the evictions have restarted after a pause during the pandemic.
Now, after a pause during the pandemic, somebody needs to be fired. Somebody needs to be fired. What do you mean, simply said? Somebody needs to be fired. I'll tell you why. Did you catch this part? Did you catch this part at the end?
This reminded the body that not too long ago, the city had to give back federal funding, $10 million, that was intended for housing. One of the members, Antonio Lewis, reminded the body that not too long ago, the city had to give back federal funding, $10 million, that was intended for housing.
So everybody got that right before I go to the next screen. One more time.
Antonio Lewis reminded the body that not too long ago, the city had to give back federal funding, $10 million, that was intended for housing.
So I had to check into that. What do you mean? $10 million that was intended for housing. So the government did step in. Who's in charge? And this reminds me of another city that was run by the peeps. The same thing happened. They were trying to give money. The government gave, it was like millions of dollars to develop an area in the hood. And it was who, a black man running the show. And he sent the money back saying it was not needed and it was an impoverished area. He sent the money back. So back to what this man said not too long ago.
Working in coordination to make sure that we're spending money as well as we can.
One of the members, Antonio Lewis, reminded the body that not too long ago, the city had to give back federal funding, $10 million, that was intended for housing.
So someone should be fired. Look what it says. I just Googled it. The city of Atlanta will return $10 million in emergency rental assistance funding to the federal government after the money wasn't provided to needy residents before the December 2022 deadline. The money was meant to help people with housing costs during the pandemic through COVID-19 relief packages. So $10 million. $10 million. It was not provided to the needy residents. But you got 12,000 people getting evictions. Why wasn't the money dispersed? Just send that back, let them get evicted. Who's in charge? This is when you need to go ahead and find out, do some information. If you live there, galvanize and get somebody up out of there. That's when. The city of Atlanta have to return $10 million in emergency rental assistance funding to the federal government. So the federal government gave $10 million to help the citizens out, but the money wasn't provided to the needy residents before the deadline. So somebody missed the deadline. Someone dropped the ball. Who's in charge? Give the money back to the government. $10 million the people could have had. So now some will be evicted. Again, once you have an eviction on your record, good luck getting a new place. A lot of companies, they will not even deal with you. Mom and pop landlord, don't blame them. Why? Because people are known to move into a place and then, oh, I'm in now and won't get out. But I want you to see this part here. The city will return $10 million in emergency rental assistance. Who dropped the ball? Who's running the show in Atlanta? Who's over the housing? Who's over this department? That's who should be fired. You couldn't process long enough. The need is obviously there. So as a result, the money goes back to the community. And most of them in charge of the community don't care about the community, but we don't want to say that because you're trying to get it. If it's a black person, if them lose their job. I don't know who's in charge of it. The government has given delivered $10 million for rental assistance. So I guess, would you rather see the people on the street than have that money? Then they can pay the landlord. It's a win-win all around. You heard what they said about children having to change up schools. Once you get an eviction on your credit, oh, good luck. Again, a lot of people are not going to deal with you. So those people can be evicted. Who knows when they can find a place? Oh, and quote, get on your feet. So ergo, this could have been avoided. This could have been avoided. At least if it can't pay everything, the amount wouldn't be so less. You heard the lady say that she was like, what, $11,000? So if it could have paid her, or if it could have helped pay some of that money, maybe it wouldn't be so bad. I feel for her, because who's going to rent to her? More than likely, no one. So we're going to have a country where it's really hard for people just to have the basics, food and shelter. Not a luxury, food and shelter, a necessity. That's challenging. Wow. It's unreal. So some of this could have been avoided. $10 million the government already gave, but it wasn't provided to the needy residents in time. Who's in charge of that? That's who needs to be fired. We didn't get the money to them in time. Why not? The politics, the people in charge, no one seems to care about anyone. Where's the accountability? Again, that person, I do believe, yes, I said it again, that person needs to be fired. Anyway, let me know what you all think. This didn't have to be. So explain that to those 12,000 people.
Again, how many? 12,000 tenants in Atlanta who are behind on rent have gotten eviction letters.
Some of this could have been avoided. Maybe the pain wouldn't be so bad. Anyway, thanks for watching. Let me know what y'all think. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe, and share, and I'm out.